The sun burned white in the sky above the wasteland. Heat waves danced across the cracked earth like ghosts. In the distance, the ruins of old cities rose from the sand like broken teeth. This was Earth now. This was home. Lee Taman lay flat on a ridge overlooking the trade route. His rifle rested on a flat rock. The weapon was old, very old. It had belonged to his grandfather and his grandfather before that. But Taman had added new parts. Alien parts. The scope glowed with a faint blue light. It could see through sandstorms. It could see heat. It could see life. Below him, 3 trucks moved slowly along the packed sand road. They carried water and food between settlements. Precious cargo, the kind that drew bad people like flies to meat. Taman was right. 6 raiders appeared from behind a collapsed building. They wore makeshift armor and carried stolen alien weapons, energy rifles, plasma guns, weapons that hummed and glowed, weapons that could turn a man to ash. The raiders fired at the trucks. Blue bolts of energy streaked through the air. The truck drivers tried to speed up, but the sand was too deep. They were trapped. Taman breathed slowly. His finger touched the trigger. The distance was 2,000 meters. Maybe more. The wind was strong. The heat made the air thick and wavering. But he had done harder shots. He aimed at the first raider. The man was shouting orders, a leader. Taman squeezed the trigger. The old rifle barked, a sound like thunder in the quiet desert. The bullet flew true. 2 seconds later, the raider fell. The other raiders looked around confused. They did not know where the shot came from. They could not see Taman. He was too far away. Too well hidden. Taman worked the bolt. The spent shell casing flew out. It glinted in the sunlight before falling into the sand. He chambered another round, aimed, fired. Another raider dropped. Now the raiders were scared. They forgot about the trucks. They started running, looking for cover, but there was nowhere to hide from Taman. He could see them through his scope, clear as day. His third shot hit the last raider leader. The others scattered like insects. They disappeared into the ruins. The trucks were safe now. They started moving again. Faster this time, Taman stood up. He brushed sand from his worn jacket. His boots crunched on the rocky ground as he walked down from the ridge. It was a long walk back to town, but he did not mind. The desert was quiet, peaceful in its own way. By the time he reached the settlement, the sun was setting. The walls were made from old shipping containers and scrap metal. Guards stood at the gate. They recognized him. They always did. They opened the gate without a word. Inside the settlement, people moved through narrow streets. Children played in the dust. Women hung laundry on lines between buildings. Men worked on water pumps and solar panels. Life continued. Hard but steady, Taman walked to the center of town. There stood the biggest building. It was made from an old aircraft hangar. Inside, Park Sora ran the settlement. She was young for a leader, only 30 years old. But she was smart, fair, people trusted her. She was waiting for him when he entered. But she was not alone. 3 figures stood with her. They were tall, too tall. Their skin shimmered with strange colors, blues and purples and greens. Their eyes were large and black. No white at all. They wore flowing robes that seemed to move on their own. Aliens, members of the crystalline hegemony. One of the 3 species that ruled Earth now. Sora looked worried. She gestured for Taman to come closer. He did. He kept his rifle slung over his shoulder. The aliens watched him with those dark eyes. They made no expression. Aliens rarely did. One of them spoke. Its voice was like wind chimes, musical but cold. "You are Lee Taman, the Sharpshooter. We have heard of your skills." Taman said nothing. He waited. When dealing with aliens, it was better to listen first. Sora spoke up. "Taman, they need your help. Something is killing their trade convoys. Something big," the alien continued. "A creature. We call it a sand reaper. It has destroyed 15 of our transport vehicles, killed 43 of our people. We have tried to eliminate it. Our weapons do not work. The creature's hide is too thick. It is too fast. Too clever." Another alien stepped forward. This one wore different robes, marked with symbols. A military officer, perhaps. "We have placed a bounty. 50,000 credits, enough to buy your settlement new water purifiers, new medical supplies, new weapons, enough to live well for many years." Taman finally spoke. "Why ask me? You have armies, ships, technology we cannot imagine." The first alien tilted its head. Because our technology has failed. Your primitive weapons. They use physical projectiles. They may penetrate where our energy weapons cannot. You humans, you are good at killing. This we have learned. There was no insult in its voice. Just fact, cold fact. Sora touched Taemin's arm. The credits would save us. Winter is coming. We need supplies. I would not ask if there was another way. Taemin looked at her. Then at the aliens. Then out the window at the darkening sky. The desert was dangerous. It had gotten worse since the scorching. Strange creatures lived out there now, mutated by radiation, changed by alien contamination. Things that should not exist, but he was a hunter. It was what he did. What his family had always done. He turned back to the aliens. I will need information. Everything you know about this creature. Its size, its behavior. Where it hunts. Where it lives. The military alien nodded. You will have it. We will also provide tracking equipment. Transportation if needed. Whatever you require. Taemin shook his head. I work alone. I use my own equipment. You give me the information. You stay out of my way. Those are my terms. The aliens looked at each other. Some kind of silent communication passed between them. Finally, the first one spoke. Agreed, but we will send an observer. To verify the kill. To ensure the bounty is earned fairly. Taemin did not like it, but he understood. Fine, one observer. They follow my rules in the desert. The deal was made. The aliens left. Their transport lifted off with a low hum. Anti-gravity engines, silent and smooth. Nothing like the noisy human vehicles that coughed and sputtered. Sora sat down heavily. Thank you, Taemin. I know this is dangerous. He checked his rifle. Inspected the scope. Everything is dangerous now. At least this danger pays well. She smiled a little. When do you leave? Dawn, I need to study the information first. Prepare supplies. Check my equipment. Be careful out there. This thing. It sounds worse than anything you have faced before. Taemin slung his rifle over his shoulder. Maybe, but I am still the best shot in the Wasteland. That counts for something. He walked out into the night. Above him the stars were bright. Brighter than they had been before the scorching. Before the aliens came. Before everything changed. The desert wind was cold now. It always was after sunset. Hot as fire in the day. Cold as ice at night. Extreme in everything. Tomorrow he would hunt. Tomorrow he would face the Sand Reaper. Whatever it was. Whatever it could do. He would find it. He would study it. And he would kill it. Because that was what he did. That was what humans did best. Dawn broke over the settlement like a hammer. The sky turned from black to purple to orange in minutes. Taemin was already awake. He had been up for hours studying the data the aliens sent. Images, video footage, thermal scans. Everything they had on the Sand Reaper. The creature was massive. 30 meters long from head to tail. Its body was covered in overlapping plates like armor. Natural armor, thicker than steel. The footage showed alien soldiers firing their energy weapons at it. The blue bolts hit the armor and scattered. Like water on hot oil. The creature barely noticed. It moved with terrible speed for something so large. Its claws tore through metal vehicles like paper. Taemin sat in his small room above the repair shop. The walls were bare except for one old photograph. His grandfather, holding the same rifle Taemin carried now. The old man was smiling, standing in a forest. Back when Earth still had forests, someone knocked on his door. 3 sharp raps, come in, Taemin said. The door opened. A woman entered. She was tall and lean with short black hair and grease stains on her hands. Kang Yu-jin, the settlement's chief engineer. She kept the water pumps running. Fixed the solar panels. Maintained the defenses. Heard you took the alien job, she said. She did not sit down. Just stood there looking at his gear spread across the floor. That thing killed a lot of their people. Their soldiers. With their fancy weapons. I know, Taemin said. He was cleaning his rifle. Taking it apart piece by piece. Checking each component. You think that old gun will do better? Yu-jin asked. It shoots bullets. Real bullets, metal. The alien weapons shoot energy. Pure energy. The creature's armor deflects energy. But metal might punch through. Yu-jin nodded slowly. Smart. Physics, not technology. She pulled something from her pocket. A small device. It looked like a chip. I made this. It will boost your scope's range. Help with targeting calculations. Wind speed, temperature, humidity, all the variables. Taemin took it carefully. Examined it. You made this yourself? I am good with my hands. Besides, someone needs to keep you alive out there. Sora would be sad if you died. Taemin looked at her. Just Sora, Yujin smiled a little. Fine, we would all be sad. You are the best hunter we have. Now let me install this before you leave. She worked quickly. Her fingers moved with practiced skill. Within minutes, the chip was integrated into his scope. She tested it. Numbers appeared on the display. Wind direction. Distance measurements. Bullet drop calculations. Perfect, Taemin said. Thank you. Just come back alive, Yujin said. Then she left. Taemin finished preparing. He packed light, water, dried food, ammunition, a solar charger for his equipment, a tarp for shade, basic medical supplies. Everything fit in one backpack. He had learned long ago that too much gear got you killed in the desert. You needed to move fast. Stay flexible. He walked outside. The sun was higher now. Hot already. The alien transport was waiting at the edge of the settlement. A sleek silver vehicle that hovered above the ground. Silent, efficient, beautiful in a strange way. But there were humans there too. A crowd. And in the center stood Kim Do-hyun. Do-hyun was another hunter. Younger than Taemin, stronger, louder. He wore expensive gear, alien modifications on his weapons. He had money, reputation, pride. Taemin, Do-hyun called out. His voice carried across the open space. I hear you took a job that should have been mine. Taemin kept walking. The aliens asked for me, because they do not know any better. They think you are special because you are old, because you use that ancient rifle. But I am faster, stronger, my weapons are better. The crowd was growing. People liked drama. Entertainment was rare in the settlement. Taemin stopped. He turned to face Do-hyun. Then take the job. I do not own it, Do-hyun smiled. I cannot. You already accepted, but I challenge your right to it. A competition. Right here, right now. Whoever wins takes the contract. And the payment. One of the aliens stepped forward. The military officer from yesterday. This is acceptable. We care only about results. Whoever demonstrates superior skill will hunt the Sand Reaper. Taemin sighed. He did not want this. But he could not back down. Not in front of the whole settlement. What kind of competition? Do-hyun pointed to the wall. The settlement's outer wall. On top of it, someone had placed 3 targets. Metal plates, 3 targets. 300 meters. Whoever hits all 3 first wins. Too easy, Taemin said. Anyone can hit stationary targets at 300 meters. Do-hyun's smile widened. Oh, I am not finished. The targets will move. Random patterns. And there will be obstacles. As he spoke, several people began setting up barriers between the shooting position and the wall. Sheets of metal. Wooden posts. Creating a maze of cover. The targets are behind cover, Do-hyun explained. You cannot shoot them directly. You must use angles, ricochets, reflections, whatever you can think of. First to hit all 3 wins. Now it was interesting. This required real skill, understanding geometry, bullet behavior, creative thinking. The aliens watched with their dark eyes, curious, evaluating. Yujin appeared beside Taemin. You do not have to do this. The contract is yours. No, Taemin said quietly. If I back down now, I lose respect. And respect is everything out here. She nodded. She understood. Do-hyun went first. He raised his modified rifle. It had an electronic scope. Laser sights. Stabilization systems. It looked like something from a science fiction movie. He studied the course. Located the first target. It was moving left and right behind a metal barrier. He fired. The bullet hit the barrier and bounced off. Wrong angle. He adjusted. Fired again. This time the bullet ricocheted correctly. It hit the edge of a support beam. Bounced again. Struck the target with a loud clang. The crowd cheered. Do-hyun looked pleased. He found the second target. This one was harder. It was behind 2 layers of obstacles. Moving up and down, he took his time, calculated, fired. The bullet bounced once, twice, missed the target by centimeters. He cursed, fired again. This time it hit. 2 down, the third target was the hardest. It was completely hidden behind a wall. No direct line at all. But there was a piece of polished metal nearby. Acting like a mirror, Do-hyun studied it. Fired at the metal. The bullet hit and deflected. But the angle was wrong. It sailed over the target. He tried again. And again. On his 5th attempt, he hit it. The crowd applauded. Do-hyun had completed the course. 5 minutes. 7 bullets. Not bad at all. Now it was Taemin's turn. He stepped up to the line. His old rifle felt comfortable in his hands. Familiar. He did not need to think about it. It was part of him. He looked at the course, the moving targets, the obstacles, the mirror. He saw the geometry of it all, the angles, the possibilities. He raised his rifle, aimed at the first target, but he did not aim at the barriers. He aimed at a metal pole to the left. He fired. The bullet hit the pole, deflected, struck the first target perfectly. No hesitation. He worked the bolt, aimed at the second target. He saw a path. Bullet hits the wooden post, bounces to the metal sheet, deflects down to the target. He fired. The bullet followed the path exactly. Second target down. The crowd was silent now, watching. The third target, the one behind the wall. Do-hyun had used the mirror, but Taemin saw another way. There was a small gap, just centimeters wide, between the wall and the ground. If he could thread the bullet through that gap at the right angle, it would skip up and hit the target from below. It was nearly impossible. The gap was tiny, the angle extreme, but Taemin had made impossible shots before. He aimed low, very low, almost at the ground. He controlled his breathing, felt the wind, felt the weight of the bullet in the chamber, felt everything come together. He fired. The bullet flew. It hit the ground just before the gap, bounced, threaded through the opening, came up at a sharp angle, hit the target dead center. 3 targets, 3 shots. Less than 2 minutes, the crowd erupted. Even the aliens seemed impressed. Their heads tilted in that strange way they had. Curiosity, respect maybe. Do-hyun stood there, his mouth open. He could not believe it. No one could, the alien officer spoke. Lee Taemin has demonstrated superior skill. He will conduct the hunt. The contract is his. Do-hyun's face went red, anger, embarrassment, but he could not argue. Everyone had seen. He turned and walked away. The crowd parted for him. Yujin patted Taemin's shoulder. "Show off," she said. But she was smiling. Sora came forward. "Be safe out there. Come back to us," Taemin nodded. He climbed into the alien transport. The door sealed behind him. The vehicle lifted smoothly into the air, silent and fast. The settlement grew smaller below. Soon it was just a tiny spot in the endless desert. Taemin looked ahead, toward the horizon, toward the glass desert, toward the Sand Reaper. The hunt had begun. The transport flew for 3 hours. Below them, the wasteland changed. The brown sand gave way to something else, something strange and beautiful and terrible. Glass, miles and miles of glass. Long ago, alien ships had bombarded this region. Their weapons turned sand into liquid. The liquid cooled and became glass, smooth in some places, jagged in others. It reflected the sunlight like a million mirrors. Looking at it too long could blind you, the alien pilot spoke. Its voice came through a speaker. "We will land at the perimeter. The Sand Reaper's territory begins here. Our tracking shows it hunts in a radius of 50 kilometers. But its den, its home, we do not know where that is." Taemin studied the landscape through the window. The glass formations rose in waves and spikes. Some were taller than buildings. Between them were valleys of shadow, perfect places for a large creature to hide. "Has anyone survived an encounter with it?" he asked. 2, the pilot said. Both were in vehicles. They drove away fast. They reported the creature is silent before it attacks. No sound, no warning, just sudden violence. The transport landed on a flat section of glass. The door opened. Heat rushed in like a physical force. Taemin stepped out. The glass under his boots was hot even through the thick soles. The air shimmered. Everything was bright. Too bright. He put on dark goggles. The world dimmed to something bearable. He shouldered his pack, checked his rifle. Everything was ready. 2 figures emerged from behind a glass formation. Humans. A man and a woman. Both wore desert gear, practical clothes, sun protection. They carried equipment. The man approached first. He was lean and weathered. His skin was dark from years under the sun. "Lee Taemin. I am Ominseok Tracker, Sora sent me. Said you might need help reading signs in unfamiliar territory." The woman came next. She was shorter, younger. She carried a medical bag. "Choi Haewon, medic, I volunteered. Someone needs to patch you up when things go wrong." Taemin looked at them, then at the alien pilot. "I said I work alone," Minseok shrugged. Sora does not take orders from you. She sent us. Deal with it. HFY smiled. Besides, 3 pairs of eyes are better than 1. This thing is smart, dangerous. You need backup whether you admit it or not. The alien pilot spoke again. I will remain with the transport. I am your observer. I will verify the kill. Contact me when you locate the creature. The door closed. The transport lifted off. But it did not leave. It landed on top of a tall glass spike, watching, waiting. Taemin turned to his new companions. Fine, but we do this my way. I lead, you follow. You do exactly what I say when I say it, understood? They both nodded. Good. Minseok. Find me tracks. Any sign of the creature, HFY, you watch our backs. Keep your eyes open for movement. This thing hunts. That means it knows how to sneak up on prey. They moved into the glass desert. Walking was difficult. The surface was uneven. Smooth sections gave way to sharp edges without warning. The heat was incredible. Taemin could feel it through his clothes, through his boots. The sun beat down from above. The glass reflected it from below. They were being cooked from both directions. After an hour, Minseok stopped. He knelt down, examined the ground. There were scratches in the glass, deep gouges, 4 parallel lines claws, he said. Big ones, recent, maybe yesterday. Taemin crouched beside him. The scratches were indeed deep. Whatever made them was heavy, strong. He looked around, tried to imagine the creature moving through this landscape. Where would it go? Where would it hunt water? HFY said suddenly. She was pointing to the east. Every creature needs water, even monsters. If we find water, we find its hunting grounds. She was right. Taemin nodded. Lead on, Minseok. Follow those tracks. They walked for another 2 hours. The tracks appeared and disappeared. Sometimes clear, sometimes faint. Minseok read them like a book. He pointed out crushed sections of glass, displaced sand in the valleys, marks on the taller formations where something large had brushed past. The sun was directly overhead when they found the first kill site. It was an alien transport vehicle, similar to the one that brought Taemin, but this one was destroyed, torn apart. The metal was peeled back like fruit skin. Inside were dark stains. Old blood. The bodies were gone. Taken or eaten? Probably both. 3 weeks old, Minseok said. He was examining the wreckage. You can tell from the weathering, the way sand has collected in the corners. Taemin circled the wreck. He studied the damage pattern, the way the metal was torn. The creature had attacked from the side. Fast and violent. The vehicle never had a chance to escape. But something else caught his attention. Marks on the ground. Not claw marks, different, like something had been dragged. He followed them. They led away from the wreck, into a narrow valley between 2 glass walls. Stay here, he told the others. He entered the valley alone, his rifle ready, his senses alert. The valley was cool, shaded. The glass walls rose high on both sides. At the far end, something gleamed. White in the shadows, bones, a pile of bones. Alien bones, mostly. Their strange shapes unmistakable. But there were human bones, too, old ones. From before the scorching, perhaps. The creature had been hunting here for a long time. This was a feeding ground, a place where the Sand Reaper brought its kills to eat in safety. Taemin heard something, a sound faint like stone scraping on glass. He froze, his finger moved to the trigger. He scanned the valley walls, the shadows, the high places, nothing, just silence, but he felt it. The feeling every hunter knows. The feeling of being watched. He backed away slowly. Did not turn around. Did not run. Just moved steadily back toward the entrance. Toward his companions, he emerged from the valley. Minseok and HFY were waiting. They saw his face. They knew something had happened. We need to move, Taemin said quietly. Now. They did not argue. They started walking. Fast but not running. Running triggered predator instincts. They had gone maybe 50 meters when they heard it. A sound like thunder. But deeper, rhythmic, growing louder. Run, Taemin shouted. They ran. The glass under their feet was treacherous. HFY slipped, caught herself, kept going. The thunder grew louder, closer. The ground shook with each impact. Taemin risked a look back. He saw it. The Sand Reaper. It was bigger than the video suggested. Much bigger. Its body was thick with muscle under the armored plates. Each plate overlapped the next like scales. Its head was wide and flat. 4 eyes glowed with red light. Its mouth was full of teeth. Dozens of teeth. Long as daggers, but what struck him most was the speed. Something that large should not move so fast. It covered ground like water flowing downhill. Effortless, unstoppable. There, Minseok pointed. A gap between two tall glass formations. Narrow. Too narrow for the creature, they dove into the gap. Pressed themselves against the walls. The creature reached the entrance, stopped. Its massive head turned sideways, trying to see them in the shadows. Its breath came in heavy snorts. Hot air that smelled like old meat and blood. It tried to reach in with one clawed foot. The talons scraped the glass. Inches from Haewon's leg. She did not move. Did not breathe. Taemin raised his rifle. The creature's eye was visible. A clear shot, maybe 30 meters, but something stopped him. Some instinct, some feeling. This was not the right moment. Not the right place. The creature pulled back. It circled the formation, looking for another entrance, finding none. It made a sound, low and rumbling, frustration, anger. Then it left. The thunder of its footsteps faded. Silence returned. They waited. Minutes passed. Finally, Taemin spoke. It is gone. For now. They emerged from the gap, carefully, ready to run again if needed. But the desert was empty. The creature had vanished like smoke. Haewon was shaking. That thing. It is impossible. Nothing should be that big. That fast. Minseok checked his equipment. The tracker is still working. I tagged it. We can follow it now. See where it goes. Taemin looked at the data on Minseok's device. A blinking dot moving across a digital map. Moving fast. Moving with purpose. It is going somewhere specific, he said. Not just wandering. It has a destination. Its den, Haewon said. It is going home. Taemin nodded slowly. Then that is where we need to go. But not today. We need to prepare. We need a plan. That thing is not just strong. It is smart, it thinks. It hunts with strategy. They made camp on top of a flat glass plateau. High ground. Visibility in all directions. Minseok set up motion sensors. Haewon prepared their evening meal. Taemin studied the tracking data. Watched the blinking dot. The Sand Reaper had stopped. 50 kilometers away, deep in the glass desert. That was where it lived. That was where the hunt would end, one way or another. As the sun set, the glass desert came alive with color. Orange and red and purple reflected in every surface. Beautiful, deadly, like everything else in this new world. Taemin cleaned his rifle. Checked his ammunition. Tomorrow they would move closer. Tomorrow they would learn more about their prey. Because that was the first rule of hunting. Know your prey better than it knows itself. His grandfather had taught him that long ago. In a different world, the rule still applied. 3 days passed in the glass desert. 3 days of watching, waiting, learning. Taemin did not rush. Rushing got hunters killed. Instead, he observed the Sand Reaper from a distance. He studied its patterns, its movements, its behavior. The creature was not just a mindless beast. It was intelligent, calculating. That made it dangerous. Each morning, the creature emerged from its den. A massive cave system carved into the glass cliffs. It would stretch like a cat, each armored plate shifting and settling. Then it would begin its patrol. The same route every day, checking its territory, marking boundaries. Taemin watched through his scope. Made notes, drew maps. Minseok helped track its movements. Haewon kept them alive. She rationed water, treated their cuts and burns from the sharp glass, kept watch while the others slept. On the 4th day, the alien transport arrived. It landed near their camp. The pilot emerged. With it came another alien. This one wore different robes, military insignia, a commander. The commander's voice was sharp, impatient. 4 days have passed. Why is the creature not dead? Our contract specified swift elimination. Taemin did not look up from his notes. I am studying it, learning its habits. You cannot kill what you do not understand. Our soldiers attacked immediately, with superior firepower. You waste time with primitive observation methods. Now Taemin looked up. His eyes were cold. Your soldiers are dead, I am not. Perhaps my methods work better. The commander's skin shifted colors. Anger, maybe. Or frustration. Aliens were hard to read. We have orbital weapons. We could eliminate the creature from space. Turn this entire region to molten glass again. Then do it, Taemin said. Take your contract and your payment. I will go home." The commander was silent, its large eyes fixed on Taemin. Finally it spoke. "We cannot. Our weapons are too powerful. They would destroy trade routes, damage settlements, create more problems than they solve. We need precision. That is why we hired you. Then let me work. My way. Or find someone else." The commander turned to the pilot. Some silent communication passed between them. Then the commander spoke again. "You have 3 more days. After that we will take other measures." The transport lifted off, disappeared into the bright sky. Min-seok whistled low. "You just threatened an alien commander. That takes courage, or stupidity." "They need me more than I need them," Taemin said. "They know it, I know it." "Now they know that I know it," Haewon laughed. "You are either very smart or very stupid." "I have not decided which." That night Taemin could not sleep. He lay on his bedroll looking at the stars. So many stars, more than before the scorching. The pollution was gone. The cities were dark. The sky had never been clearer. He thought about his grandfather. The old man had taught him to hunt when he was just a boy, back when there were still animals. Real animals, deer and rabbits and birds, before everything changed. His grandfather had a saying, "Know your prey better than it knows itself." Taemin had always followed that rule. It kept him alive. It made him successful. But now he wondered, did he know the Sand Reaper well enough? Something bothered him. Some detail he could not place. The creature hunted for food. That was clear. But its behavior suggested something more. It was not just surviving. It was protecting something. He sat up, pulled out his notes, read through his observations again. The creature's patrol route, always the same, always circling back to the den, never going too far, never staying away too long. Protection, defense. Those were the patterns of a parent guarding young, could it be? Was the Sand Reaper protecting offspring? He woke Min-seok, told him his theory. The tracker thought about it, nodded slowly. It makes sense. Most animals are most dangerous when protecting their young. Most aggressive, most territorial. "We need to see inside that den," Taemin said. "That is suicide. The creature will be there. In close quarters we have no chance. Not when it is there. When it is out hunting. We wait until it leaves. Then we go in. Quick look. Then we get out." Min-seok did not like it. Taemin could see that. But he did not argue. They would do it tomorrow. The next morning they watched the den. The Sand Reaper emerged, stretched, began its patrol. They waited until it was far enough away. Then they moved. The den entrance was massive. 20 meters high, 30 meters wide. Inside was darkness. Cool air flowed out. A relief from the desert heat. Taemin activated a light on his rifle. The beam cut through the darkness. The cave walls were smooth, worn down by the creature's body moving through repeatedly. The floor was covered in sand and bones. So many bones they moved deeper, carefully, quietly. Every sound echoed. Every footstep seemed too loud. Haewon stayed near the entrance. A lookout. If the creature returned early, she would signal. Give them time to escape. Hopefully the cave split into multiple tunnels. Min-seok marked their path with chemical markers, invisible to the creature but glowing under their special lights, so they could find their way back. One tunnel led down, deeper into the earth. Warmer air came from below, and another smell. Not the death smell from the bones. Something else. Something alive. Taemin descended. His heart pounded. Every instinct screamed danger. But he needed to know. Needed to understand. The tunnel opened into a chamber, large and round, and there in the center, eggs, 5 of them, each one as tall as a man, leathery shells, pale in the light. They pulsed slightly. Life growing inside, Taemin stood frozen. This changed everything. The Sand Reaper was not just a monster. It was a parent, the last of its kind, perhaps. These eggs might be the only hope for the species to continue. He heard Min-seok behind him. The tracker's voice was quiet, awed. "We cannot tell the aliens about this. If they know, they will destroy the eggs. Eliminate the entire species." Taemin knew he was right. But the contract, the payment. The settlement needed those supplies, needed that money to survive the winter. He was still thinking when Haewon's voice crackled over the radio. Urgent, afraid. "It is coming back, early. You need to get out now." They ran. Back through the tunnel. Up toward the light. Behind them they heard it. The thunder of massive footsteps. The creature had sensed intruders in its home. It was coming. They burst into the main cave. Daylight ahead. Freedom. But the Sand Reaper was faster. It appeared in the entrance, blocking their escape. Its red eyes fixed on them. Its massive body filled the space. Taemin raised his rifle. The creature's eye was visible. A clear shot. He could end this now. Complete the contract. Save his settlement, but he hesitated. The eggs. The knowledge that this creature was just protecting its family, just trying to survive. Like humans. Like everyone in this harsh new world, the creature roared. A sound that shook the cave walls. It started forward. Claws extended, mouth open, Minseok fired his pistol. The bullets bounced off the armor. Useless. The creature did not even slow down. Taemin made a decision. He aimed not at the eye, at the cave ceiling. At a weak point he had noticed earlier. Where the glass was cracked and unstable, he fired once, twice, 3 times. The bullets hit the cracks, widened them. The ceiling groaned. Chunks of glass began to fall. "Run," he shouted. They dove to the side, into one of the smaller tunnels. The creature tried to follow, but the ceiling collapsed. Tons of glass crashed down, blocking the main entrance, blocking the creature inside. They scrambled through the narrow tunnel, found another exit, emerged into the sunlight, gasping, alive. Behind them they heard the creature, digging, pushing through the rubble. It would escape eventually, but not quickly. They had time. HFY was pale, shaking. "You could have killed it. Why did you not kill it?" Taemin looked back at the cave, at the dust rising from the collapsed entrance. "Because it has a family. It is not evil, just protective. We are the invaders here, not it." Minseok nodded slowly. "So what do we do now?" "The aliens expect a dead creature. We have a contract, that was the question." Taemin had no good answer. The settlement needed the payment. But killing the Sand Reaper meant killing the last of its species, orphaning those eggs, destroying something that might never exist again. His radio crackled. The alien pilot's voice. "We detected seismic activity." "What is happening?" "The creature collapsed its own den." Taemin lied. "It knows we are hunting it. It is changing its behavior. Getting smarter. This is unacceptable. We are sending more forces. Heavy weapons. We will saturate the area. Eliminate all threats." Taemin's blood went cold. "Wait, give me more time. I'm close. I know where it dens. I can finish this, no more time. We have been patient enough. The military will arrive tomorrow at dawn. Stay clear of the target zone." The radio went dead. Taemin looked at his companions. They looked back. No words needed. They all understood. Tomorrow the aliens would destroy everything. The creature, the eggs, the entire region. They would turn it all to glass again, unless Taemin found another way. A better way, but what? How could he save the creature and save his settlement? The two goals seemed impossible to achieve together. The sun was setting. The glass desert glowed with color, beautiful and deadly. Time was running out. He needed a plan, a way to protect both species, human and Sand Reaper. But how? His grandfather's voice echoed in his mind. Know your prey better than it knows itself. But maybe that was not the right lesson anymore. Maybe the lesson was different. Know yourself. Know what you are willing to do. What you are willing to sacrifice tomorrow would bring answers. Night fell over the glass desert. Taemin sat alone on a high ridge. Below him, the desert stretched endlessly. Silent. Empty. In a few hours, the alien military would arrive. They would rain fire from the sky. They would destroy everything. He could not let that happen. Minseok and HFY were sleeping, exhausted from the day's escape. But Taemin could not rest. His mind raced, searching for a solution, searching for a way out. The problem was simple. The aliens wanted the Sand Reaper dead. They had paid for death, expected death, would accept nothing less than death. But Taemin had seen the eggs, seen the future of a species. He could not destroy that, would not destroy that. Some things mattered more than money, more than contracts, more than survival. His grandfather would understand. The old man had always taught respect for life. All life, even prey, deserved respect, deserved to be honored, not slaughtered pointlessly. An idea began to form, dangerous, maybe impossible. But it was all he had. He woke his companions, told them his plan. They listened in silence. When he finished, Minseok shook his head. That is insane. You will get us all killed. Maybe, Taemin admitted. But doing nothing guarantees death. For the creature, for us eventually. The aliens will not stop. They will keep coming, keep destroying, until nothing is left. Haewon touched his arm. If we do this, we become traitors. Enemies of the crystalline hegemony. We can never go back to the settlement. Never go home. I know, Taemin said. That is why I am not asking you to come. This is my choice. My responsibility. You two can leave. Claim you knew nothing. Save yourselves. They looked at each other. Some silent communication passed between them. Then Minseok smiled. It was not a happy smile. More like the smile of a man accepting his fate. We are already here. Already involved. Might as well see it through, Haewon nodded. Besides, someone needs to keep you alive. You are terrible at taking care of yourself. They worked through the night, preparing. Taemin recorded a message, detailed, explicit. Everything he had seen, everything the aliens planned. He encrypted it, loaded it onto a data chip, gave it to Minseok. If this goes wrong, get this to Sora. Make sure other settlements know the truth. Dawn came fast. Too fast. The sky turned from black to gray to orange, and then they arrived 5 alien warships, each one the size of a building. They descended from orbit with perfect precision. Silent, graceful, deadly. They took positions around the creature's territory, forming a perimeter, a kill zone. The alien commander's voice came over all frequencies, broadcasting to everyone. This is your final warning. All human personnel evacuate the area. We will commence bombardment in 30 minutes. Nothing will survive, Taemin clicked his radio. This is Lee Taemin. I am still tracking the target. I need more time. Your time is expired. Leave now or be destroyed with the creature. I found something. Something you need to see first. Something important. There was a pause. Then the commander spoke again. Annoyed, suspicious. What did you find? Eggs. The creature has eggs. Offspring. If you destroy them, you commit genocide. The complete extinction of a species. Is that what the crystalline hegemony wants? Is that what you want known across the galaxy? Another pause. Longer this time. Finally, the commander responded. Impossible. Our scans show no additional life forms. Your scans are wrong. The eggs are deep underground, shielded by the glass. Come see for yourself, or live with the knowledge that you destroyed the last of an entire species. The radio went silent. Taemin waited, hoped, prayed to gods he was not sure he believed in. 5 minutes passed. 10. Then one of the warships broke formation. Descended toward Taemin's position. It landed in a cloud of dust. The commander emerged. With it came 4 soldiers, heavily armed. They did not look friendly. Show me, the commander said. If you are lying, you will be executed immediately. Taemin led them toward the den. The entrance was still partially collapsed from yesterday. But there was a gap, large enough to enter, large enough to see inside. The Sand Reaper was there, digging, clearing rubble, trying to secure its home. It stopped when it sensed them, turned, its red eyes fixed on the aliens. A low growl rumbled from its throat. The soldiers raised their weapons, energy rifles humming, ready to fire. Wait, Taemin said. Look closer. Look at what it is protecting. He pointed to the deeper tunnel, to the chamber below. The alien soldiers moved forward carefully, their weapons trained on the creature. The Sand Reaper watched them but did not attack. It was cornered, protecting its young. It would fight only if necessary. The commander saw the eggs. Its skin shifted through several colors. Surprise, confusion, concern. This is unexpected. Our intelligence did not mention reproduction. Because you killed everything before it had a chance to reproduce, Taemin said. You and the other species that conquered Earth. You destroyed the ecosystem. Wiped out entire species. This creature is one of the last, maybe the very last. And now you want to finish the job. The commander turned to him, its dark eyes unreadable. The creature is dangerous. It has killed many of our people. We cannot allow it to live. It killed them because they invaded its territory, because they threatened its family. Any parent would do the same, human, alien, does not matter. The instinct is universal. One of the soldiers spoke. Its voice was different from the commander, younger, uncertain. Sir, if this is truly the last of its species, we have protocols, preservation laws. The Galactic Council would not approve of extinction. The commander's skin flashed red. Anger. The Council is not here. We are. This is our jurisdiction. Our decision. Then make the right decision, Taman said. Relocate the creature. Find it a new territory, away from trade routes, away from settlements. Let it live. Let its species survive. Impossible. The logistics, the cost, the risk. No, the creature dies. As contracted. The commander turned to leave. The soldiers began to follow. Taman had one option left. One final move. He raised his rifle. Not at the creature. At the commander. The soldiers spun around. Weapons aimed at him. Energy crackling. Ready to fire. You will not leave, Taman said quietly. His voice was steady, calm. The voice of a man who had accepted what comes next. You will not kill this creature. You will not destroy those eggs. Or I will start shooting. The commander laughed. A strange sound. Like wind chimes breaking. You threaten me. One human with a primitive weapon against 5 trained soldiers with advanced technology. You will be dead before you fire a second shot. Maybe, Taman agreed. But the first shot will be yours. I am the best shot in the Wasteland. At this range I cannot miss. You will die. Your soldiers might kill me, but you will still be dead. Is this creature worth your life? The commander stared at him, calculating, weighing options. The soldiers waited for orders. Fingers on triggers. The tension was a physical thing, heavy, suffocating. Then another voice spoke. Not the commander. Not the soldiers. A new voice. Broadcast from the warships above. Commander, this is Fleet Captain Torval. Stand down. Do not engage the human. The commander's skin shifted colors rapidly. Confusion. Anger. Captain, I have this situation under control. No, you do not. We have intercepted communications. The human sent evidence to multiple settlements. Video of the eggs. Audio of our conversation. Proof of our extermination plans. It is spreading across human networks. If we kill him now, we become the villains, the ones who chose genocide. The political damage would be severe. Taman allowed himself a small smile. Minseok had done his job. The message was out. The truth was spreading. Now the aliens had to choose. Proceed with extinction and face consequences, or find another way. The commander lowered its weapon, signaled the soldiers to do the same. You have created a significant problem, human. This will not end well for you. Maybe not, Taman said, but it will end well for the creature. That is enough. The aliens retreated to their ship, lifted off. The other warships followed. They did not leave the area. Just pulled back, waiting, watching, planning their next move. Taman turned to the Sand Reaper. It was still there. Still watching, still protecting its eggs. For a moment their eyes met. Human and creature, hunter and hunted. Some understanding passed between them. Some recognition of shared purpose. Taman lowered his rifle, backed away slowly, left the creature to its family. Minseok and Haewon were waiting outside. They looked relieved, terrified, proud, all at once. That was the stupidest, bravest thing I have ever seen, Haewon said. You threatened an alien commander. You could have died, worth it, Taman said simply. Minseok checked his equipment. The message is everywhere now. Every human settlement has it. The aliens cannot cover this up, cannot pretend it did not happen. Good, Taman said. Now they have to decide what kind of rulers they want to be, genocidal tyrants, or something better. But even as he spoke, he knew the truth. The aliens would not forgive this, would not forget. He had embarrassed them, challenged their authority, revealed their plans. They would come for him eventually, come for all of them. The war had begun, not with armies, not with weapons, but with one man's choice. One decision to protect life instead of destroying it. The sun climbed higher. The glass desert blazed with light. In the distance, the alien warships hovered like dark clouds, waiting. Taman looked at his companions. We should go. Find somewhere safe. This area will not be safe much longer. They walked for hours. The glass desert gave way to rocky badlands. The sun beat down without mercy. Taman kept checking behind them, watching for pursuit. It would come. The only question was when. Haewon stumbled. Her water was running low. They all were running low. Minseok checked his map. There is a canyon system ahead, 5 kilometers. We can find shade there. Maybe water. They pushed on. Each step was effort. The heat drained them. The stress drained them. They had not slept properly in days. But stopping meant capture. Capture meant death. The canyon appeared like a wound in the earth, deep and narrow. Shadows pooled at the bottom. Cool air rose from below. They descended carefully. The walls were steep. Red stone worn smooth by ancient water. At the bottom they found what they hoped for. A spring, small but steady. Water seeping from the rock. Clear and cold. They drank deeply. Filled their containers. Rested in the shade. Taman set up a watch position. High on the canyon wall. Good visibility. Good firing position if needed. He checked his rifle. Counted his ammunition. 20 rounds left, not much. But enough if he made every shot count. Minsyuk was working on his equipment. Monitoring communications. Tracking alien movements. His face was serious, worried. They are searching. 3 warships. Scanning patterns. They are getting closer. How long do we have? Taman asked. Hours, maybe less. They know we came this direction. Process of elimination will lead them here eventually. Haywan joined them. She had bandaged her feet. Treated their sunburns. She looked tired but determined. We cannot keep running forever. We need a plan, she was right. Running only delayed the inevitable. The aliens had ships, technology, resources. Humans had none of those things. But humans had other advantages. Creativity, adaptability, desperation. An idea came to Taman. Dangerous but possible. We need to change the situation. Right now we are prey, hunted. We need to become hunters again. Minsyuk looked at him. You want to attack them. That is suicide. Not attack. Distract. Confuse. Make them think we are somewhere we are not. Buy time for the real plan. What real plan? Haywan asked. We need allies. The Sand Reaper. If it helps us, we have a chance. They both stared at him, silent. Then Minsyuk laughed. Not a happy laugh. A bitter laugh. You want to ask the giant murder creature for help? The thing that killed dozens of aliens. That thing? It protected us yesterday, Taman said. When we were in its den, it could have killed us, but it did not. It recognized we were not threats. Maybe it can recognize we are allies. Or maybe it will eat us, Haywan said. Creatures do not make alliances. They follow instincts. Some creatures do, Taman argued. Dogs once, horses. Humans learned to work with animals. Why not now? Why not with this creature? It was insane. But they had no better options. They decided to try. Night came. They moved under cover of darkness. Back toward the glass desert. Back toward the den. The alien warships were searching the Badlands. Looking in the wrong place. The distraction was working. For now. They reached the den as the moon rose, full and bright. The glass formations glowed silver, beautiful and eerie. The entrance was dark, silent. No sign of the creature. Taman entered first. Rifle ready. Light activated. The cave was empty. The eggs were still there, safe in their chamber, but the Sand Reaper was gone. Out hunting probably, they waited. Hours passed. Cold seeped into the cave. Minsyuk started a small fire, just enough for warmth. Haywan checked their supplies. They had food for maybe 2 days. Water for 3 if they rationed carefully. Then they heard it. The thunder of footsteps. The creature was returning. It entered the cave. Massive body filling the space. It stopped when it saw them. Saw the fire. Saw 3 humans in its home. Its eyes glowed red in the darkness. A low growl rumbled from its throat. Warning. Threat. It took a step forward. Claws scraping on stone. Taman stood slowly, hands visible. No weapons raised. We are not enemies, he said. Knowing the creature could not understand words. But maybe it could understand tone, intent. The Sand Reaper tilted its head, studying them. It could kill them easily. One swipe of its claws, one bite of its massive jaws. But it did not attack. It waited. Taman took something from his pack. Meat, dried and preserved, food from their rations. He tossed it toward the creature. An offering, a gesture of peace. The Sand Reaper sniffed the meat, then ignored it. It moved past them, down to the chamber where its eggs waited. Checking them. Making sure they were safe, Minsyuk whispered. It does not want our food. It wants us gone. No, Haywan said. It let us stay. It could have forced us out. Killed us, but it did not. Maybe it understands we protected its eggs. Defended them from the aliens. She was right. The creature returned from the chamber. It looked at them again. Then it lay down near the entrance, blocking the exit, trapping them inside, but also protecting them, guarding them from outside threats. They slept that night, exhausted. The Sand Reaper kept watch, its red eyes glowing in the darkness, alert, protective. Dawn brought danger. Minsilk woke first. His equipment was beeping. Alert signals. They found us. The warships. They are coming. Taemin looked outside. In the distance he saw them. 3 dark shapes moving across the sky. Coming fast. Coming with purpose. They had found the den. The alien commander's voice boomed from speakers, amplified, impossible to ignore. Lee Taemin, you are surrounded. Surrender immediately. You will be tried for interfering with official operations, for releasing classified information, for treason against the crystalline hegemony. Taemin grabbed his radio. Treason? I protected an innocent species. You call that treason. You violated your contract. You threatened military personnel. You spread propaganda against legitimate authority. These are crimes. Surrender or be eliminated. The warships took positions, surrounding the den. Energy weapons charging, glowing with deadly light. They were not bluffing. The Sand Reaper emerged from the cave. It saw the ships, recognized the threat. A roar exploded from its throat. Loud enough to shake the ground. Challenge, defiance, rage. One of the warships fired. A warning shot. Energy bolt struck the ground near the creature. Glass exploded, melted, turned to liquid. The message was clear. Surrender or die. But the Sand Reaper did not retreat. It charged. Impossibly fast for something so large. It covered ground like lightning. Reached the nearest warship before it could react. Its claws struck the hull. Metal screamed, tore, the ship tilted. Lost altitude. Crashed into a glass formation. The other 2 ships opened fire. Energy bolts rained down. Most hit the creature's armor. Deflected, scattered, but some got through. Burned into flesh. The Sand Reaper roared in pain, in anger. But it did not stop fighting. It grabbed wreckage from the crashed ship. Threw it at another warship. Tons of metal flying through the air. The ship tried to dodge. Too slow. The wreckage hit. Damaged engines. The ship spun out of control. Crashed hard, 1 warship left. The pilot was smart. Stayed high. Out of reach. Kept firing. Kept moving. The Sand Reaper could not reach it. Could not fight back. It was being worn down. Injured. Bleeding. Taemin saw it all. Saw the creature fighting for its life. Fighting for its eggs. Fighting for its right to exist. And he knew what he had to do. He raised his rifle. Aimed at the last warship. It was high. Maybe 1,000 meters. Moving fast. A nearly impossible shot. But Taemin had made impossible shots before. He breathed steady. Calm, felt the wind. Felt the weight of the bullet. Felt everything come together. The way it always did when he shot. When he became one with the rifle. One with the target, he fired. The bullet flew true. Struck the warship's engine. Not the main hull. Not the cockpit. The engine. The vulnerable point. The critical system, the engine exploded. Not a big explosion. Just enough to kill power. Enough to send the ship falling. It crashed in the distance. Smoke rising from the wreckage. Silence fell over the glass desert. 3 warships down, the alien military defeated, by 1 creature and 1 man with an old rifle. The Sand Reaper turned, looked at Taemin. Blood dripped from its wounds. Its armor was cracked in places, but it was alive. Still standing. Still protecting. For a long moment they stared at each other. Then the creature made a sound, soft, almost gentle. Acknowledgement, maybe. Respect. It turned and limped back to its den. Back to its eggs. Minseok was shaking. You just shot down an alien warship. With a rifle. That should not be possible. Nothing about today should be possible, Taemin said. But here we are. Haewon was already moving. Grabbing medical supplies. That creature is injured badly. It will die without treatment. I am going to help it. It might kill you, Minseok warned. Maybe, but it just saved our lives. I owe it this much. She entered the den. Taemin and Minseok followed. The Sand Reaper lay near its eggs, breathing heavily. Its wounds were severe, burns, cuts, deep damage. Haewon approached slowly. Speaking softly, soothingly, she opened her medical kit. The creature watched her, wary, but it did not attack. Did not stop her. She began treating the wounds, cleaning, bandaging, using everything she had. The creature flinched sometimes, growled, but allowed the treatment, as if it understood she was helping. Hours passed. The work was slow, careful. Finally, HFY stepped back, exhausted. That is all I can do. The rest is up to it. If it is strong, it will survive. They settled in the cave, waiting, resting. Outside, the wreckage of 3 warships smoldered. 3 days passed in an uneasy peace. The Sand Reaper healed slowly. Its wounds closed. Its strength returned. HFY tended it daily. The creature no longer growled at her approach, no longer threatened. It had learned to trust. Taemin spent the days on watch, scanning the horizon, waiting for the inevitable response. The aliens would not let this stand, would not allow humans to destroy their warships and walk away. Revenge would come. Min-seok monitored communications. He intercepted alien transmissions, military channels, command frequencies. What he heard was not good. They are calling us terrorists, he said, claiming we attacked without provocation, destroyed military assets, killed personnel. They are demanding all human settlements turn us over for trial. Will they? HFY asked. Will the settlements give us up? Min-seok shook his head. The messages we sent, the proof of the eggs, the evidence of planned genocide. It changed things. Most settlements are refusing. Some are even fortifying defenses, preparing for conflict. Taemin felt the weight of that. His actions had started something bigger than one hunt, bigger than one creature. A war was coming, human against alien, because of choices he made. Do you regret it? HFY asked, reading his expression. Regret protecting the creature. He thought about it. Really thought. Then shook his head. No, some things are worth fighting for, worth dying for. Life, freedom, the right to exist. If we let them destroy one species today, they will destroy another tomorrow. Eventually, they will decide humans are the problem. Better to fight now, while we still can. That night they received a transmission, not from aliens, from Sora. Her voice crackled over the radio, faint but clear. Taemin, I hope you can hear this. Things are changing fast. The settlements are uniting, forming a council, a resistance. Your actions inspired people, showed them the aliens can be beaten, can be stood against, but they are preparing a massive response, a fleet, dozens of ships. They plan to make an example, destroy anyone who opposes them. You need to disappear, hide. They are coming for you specifically. The transmission ended. Taemin stared at the radio. Sora was right. He had become a symbol, the man who defied alien rule, the man who won. That made him dangerous, a threat that had to be eliminated. Min-seok was already working. If they send a fleet, we cannot fight them, not here. Not with what we have. Then we do not fight, Taemin said. We expose them. Show everyone what they really are. Not rulers, not protectors, tyrants, conquerors. How? HFY asked. They control communications. Control information. What can we do? Taemin thought. An idea formed. Dangerous. Nearly impossible. But it might work. The canyon. The one we passed through. It has unique properties. The walls. The shape. Sounds echo. Amplify. Carry for kilometers. Min-seok understood immediately. You want to use it as a broadcast amplifier. Record a message. Let it echo across the desert. Reach multiple settlements at once. More than that, Taemin said. I want the aliens to hear it too. Want them to respond. Want them to reveal their true nature where everyone can see. They spent hours planning, recording, preparing. Taemin spoke into Min-seok's recording device, told the whole story. The hunt, the eggs, the attempted genocide, the attacks, the lies, everything. Then they added something else. Visual proof. Video from Min-seok's cameras. Showing the eggs. Showing the Sand Reaper protecting its family. Showing alien warships firing on an unarmed creature. When they finished, they had something powerful. Something that could not be ignored or denied. Truth in its purest form. They traveled to the canyon. The Sand Reaper followed. Moving carefully. Still healing but strong enough to walk. It seemed to understand they needed protection. Needed an ally. So it came. They set up equipment at the canyon's center. The acoustics were perfect. Every sound magnified, multiplied, carried on the wind. Min-seok linked to every frequency. Every channel. Human and alien both. Ready, he said. When you start this, every settlement will hear. Every alien ship, everyone, there is no taking it back. Taman nodded. Then let us begin. He activated the broadcast. His voice boomed through the canyon, echoed off the walls, traveled across the desert on radio waves and sound waves both. My name is Lee Taman. I was hired to hunt a creature called the Sand Reaper. But what I found was not a monster. I found a parent protecting its children, the last of its species, fighting for survival. The aliens wanted it dead, wanted its eggs destroyed, not because it was dangerous, but because it existed, because they could not control it. He paused, let the words sink in, then continued. They call themselves rulers, protectors, but they are conquerors. They took our world, destroyed our ecosystems, and now they want to eliminate anything that resists. Today it is the Sand Reaper. Tomorrow it will be us. Any human who questions, who challenges, who refuses to obey. This is not protection. This is oppression. The video played, broadcast across every screen, every device, showing the truth, the eggs, the creature's devotion, the unprovoked attacks. We can accept this, live as subjects, as servants, or we can stand, fight, reclaim our right to exist on our own world. The choice is ours, but it must be made now. Before it is too late, the transmission ended. Silence fell. Then the response came, fast and furious. The alien fleet appeared on the horizon. 10 warships, 20 more. They filled the sky like dark clouds, blotting out the sun. The commander's voice boomed from speakers, amplified, angry. Lee Tae-min, you have committed treason, incited rebellion, destroyed military property, surrender immediately. This is your final warning. Tae-min stood in the open, visible, defiant, his rifle across his shoulders. I will not surrender. I will not stop. And I am not alone. Look at your scanners. Look at the desert. The aliens looked and saw human settlements emptying, people moving into the wasteland. Hundreds of them, thousands, armed with whatever they could find. Old weapons, scavenged technology, improvised explosives. Not much, but enough. Enough to show they would not back down. And beside them walked the Sand Reaper, massive, powerful, no longer alone, no longer hunted. An ally. The commander's voice changed. Uncertain now, worried. This is foolish. You cannot win. We have superior technology, superior numbers. Stand down or be destroyed. Maybe we cannot win, Tae-min admitted. But we can fight. We can resist. We can make you work for every centimeter of our world, and everyone will see. Every species in the galaxy. They will see you for what you are, bullies, tyrants, and they will remember. Some things are worth dying for. Freedom is one of them. The fleet-powered weapons, energy building, glowing, ready to fire, ready to rain destruction on the assembled humans. This was it. The moment of truth. Fight or flee. Live free or die trying. Tae-min raised his rifle. One gun against an armada. Impossible odds. But he had faced impossible odds before. He aimed at the lead ship. At its bridge. Where the commander stood. Then something unexpected happened. One of the alien ships broke formation. Moved away from the fleet. Then another. Then 3 more. Their weapons powered down. They were leaving. Refusing to fight. The commander's voice was shrill now, desperate. Return to formation. That is an order. But more ships left. Half the fleet, then more than half. They would not massacre civilians. Would not commit genocide for one. Commander's pride. The remaining ships hesitated, uncertain, outnumbered. Now by the humans below and the ships that had defected. Finally the commander spoke. Again, defeated, bitter. This is not over. We will return. With more ships. More weapons. You have signed your death warrant. The fleet retreated, climbed into the sky, disappeared into orbit. Gone but not forgotten. The threat remained. But today, right now, they had won. The crowd erupted, cheering, celebrating, humans embracing, crying, laughing. They had stood together, faced down an empire, and survived. Sora pushed through the crowd, reached Tae-min, grabbed him, held him. You stupid brave fool. You started a war. No, he said quietly. I just chose a side. The war was always coming. Better to fight it on our terms. She pulled back, looked at him, smiled through tears. So what now? What do we do? Tae-min looked at the Sand Reaper. The creature was surrounded by children, young humans touching its armor, marveling at its size. It tolerated them, gentle despite its power, A parent among parents, now we survive, he said. We build, we prepare. The aliens will come back, but we will be ready. Humans and Sand Reapers, together, defending our home. Months passed. The settlements changed. Fortified, united, the Sand Reaper eggs hatched. 5 young creatures, smaller than their parent but growing fast. They learned to hunt, learned to fight, learned to work with humans. Trade routes became protected corridors. The adult Sand Reaper and its offspring patrolled them. Nothing threatened the caravans now. Raiders fled. Alien scouts kept their distance. Respect had been earned. Taimun stood on a ridge overlooking the settlement. Below him, children trained with rifles, learning to shoot, learning to fight. Yujin had modified their weapons, combined human ingenuity with scavenged alien technology, creating something new, something better. Sora joined him. The council wants you to lead the defense forces. Train everyone. Prepare us for what comes next. He nodded slowly. It will come. Maybe months, maybe years, but it will come. The aliens will not forget, will not forgive. But we will be ready, she said, because you showed us how.